Hey everyone, I need your attention for 1 minute. This is not one of those ads. This is something that has changed my entire life. If you've been listening to this podcast, you know that this is all about personal development as the foundation for everything good in your life. And this podcast is now sponsored by Growth Day, which is the world's first all-in-one personal development app. I mean, oh my gosh, can you imagine having everything all in one place that you need to create the life that you want? Now you can. So if you've been struggling with your motivation, your mood, your productivity, or your purpose, you have to check this out. Growth Day helps you consciously change your life and achieve your potential. It has all the self-improvement tools, motivational classes, and life coaching all in one place. So many of us want to improve our lives, but the question is how? Where do we start? What do we use? How do you get unstuck? How do you make self-improvement stick? Well, research shows how. It's when you consistently journal, track your habits, set goals, learn from empowering mentors, and challenge yourself that you'll be happier, healthier, and more successful. But let me ask you something. Where do you actually do all of your personal development work? I have to tell you that over 300,000 people use Growth Day for a reason. It works. It's the world's #1 software for self-improvement. Growth Day has an amazing mindset journal that I absolutely love, a habit tracker, and a goal-setting system. In fact, I bet if you went to my stories this week, you probably saw me using the journaling app and telling you to do it too, because it's the first time that journaling has ever actually stuck consistently in my life because of this app. And best of all, Growth Day has live inspirational classes every single week from the world's top motivational speakers and life coaches. These are people who have impacted my life in huge ways. These are mentors who I already knew and loved. In fact, this is something that's so huge for me, you guys. I personally teach a class in Growth Day every single month, and it is one of the most fun things that I get to do, and I'd love to see you there. These classes will truly shift your life. There's always something new that you will learn. So join me and 300,000 achievers growing our lives with actual real intention. Visit growthday.com/Lori for a free trial. Yes, you can try this for free. So go to growthday.com/Lori and go live your best life. You guys, that's growthday.com/Lori. And I can't wait to see you there.
I think a lot of people just see it as, oh, it's just a Facebook group. I'll just throw this up. Community is the connection. It doesn't matter where the community lives. It matters, are those people genuinely connecting with you, with who they want to become, and with the other people who are on that same journey.
Hey everyone, welcome back. It's time for another quickie because there's always time to fit in inspiration. And today I have a regular, you're just a regular now. Can you be my co-host?
Basically.
We're living right by each other. Like, Can we make this a regular thing? This is Lindsey Schwartz, everyone. If you didn't know, now you know.
Now you know.
And we're neighbors now. She lives like so close. It's not even funny.
It's so basically our dream life.
It is our dream life. So every time we get together and we do a show together, I'm like, how can we make sure that this is just a normal thing?
Right.
And we're here again. So I guess we're doing it.
Still waiting for Hollywood to call.
Yeah.
To give us our own
You know
show.
what? Create what you wish existed. And I wish that an amazing, hilarious show with two very fabulous looking women. You're very high fashion today.
Well, I am going to speak at an event. So I walked in. I should have given you a heads up that I was looking like a glamazon today.
She looks so super fly. For those of you watching on video, you can see that this is like some sort of incredible leather safari sexy outfit that she is wearing.
In case I ever wanted to go for Halloween as like a sexy Carmen Sandiego, this is what I just would need one of your hats.
Oh, I have one for you. Okay. Yes, definitely. But I guess that's the really cool thing about being able to speak on stages is that now we also use it as our personal stage for wearing whatever we want and perform, like, as if we are vocalists and hip hop performers.
Yes. So which is our real dream.
Yes. You guys, we have the best conversation for you today. I actually met through just knowing about Lindsey's community as well. I got to meet you and get to know you better. We met through great community, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. We are talking about community versus audience. And for those of you that are like, I don't know if I'm that interested in this topic, I'm telling you, you need to be interested because this is about the money that you will also be making. Your community is so important, not only because you're going to obviously get an incredible message out there, but also you're going to make money off of your community in a way of service. Like you're going to be fulfilling really important needs for these people. And Lindsey, you have become known as the queen of community. And in a way that you have been able to cultivate the exact results of somebody with a massive community, but with a small community. Would you ever just kind of talk about, just for anyone who doesn't know your history, maybe some of your numbers when you were starting, even filling events, and what your numbers are right now? Because I think whenever I have guests on, they go to the pages and they're like, okay, well, they're in the hundreds of thousands or millions of followers. It's like, that's not where I'm at. So I actually love that you're getting the success and results of the people who have those numbers and you don't. I love it.
I know. It's actually my favorite part about our story, the Powerhouse Women story, because no one can come to me and say, this isn't going to work for me. My audience is too small. And I think that was part of it, is from the beginning, I never saw having a smaller audience as a bad thing. I just knew I had to think differently. And it wasn't honestly until Chris, your husband, Chris, said, hey, will you come and teach on community, that I ever thought to break it down. Well, what have we done differently? Because we've consistently been able to fill events. We've been able to fill programs. And in the beginning, gosh, when I think back, the very first event we ever had, we sold 100 tickets and I had zero audience. Quite literally, I was known kind of like you. I had pivoted from health and fitness. I was now starting to share more about business and personal development. And after that year, I really just focused on cultivating this community of the first people who showed up. And I'll share a little bit of the difference between the two, audience versus community, because I think that's critical. But going back to our numbers, I mean, we at the time didn't even have a Powerhouse Women Instagram account.
Wow.
So to think that we put 100 women in the first event, the second event we doubled. That was actually the year you came and spoke the very first time.
Fun.
Had 200 women there. And
that's when it blew me away. That's when I was like, what is going on here?
And it's one of those things, I think so many of you listening might feel this too. You don't even realize your own strengths until someone else points them out to you. So it was Chris saying, hey, will you come and teach in Fast Foundations at the time, I think it was, about community. I had never sat down to say, well, what have we done differently? I've just done it. And the thing that I started to realize is everyone online talks about growing your audience, which is very important. You need to have people who find out what you're doing and want to learn from you. But I think community goes a level deeper. So when I think of an audience, if my intention is to build an audience, I'm really asking the question, how do I get more people to connect with me?
Right.
How do I get them to want to know what I'm doing, what our brand is doing? But a community goes one level deeper and it asks the question, how can I get more people to connect with each other?
So good.
And that is really the magic. That's where when we put our event online, it's not just us promoting it. It's all of the women who now have come to feel a part of what we're doing, saying to their friends, you have to be here. They feel like it's theirs because they're not only connected to us as a brand, but they're connected to each other. I mean, you've seen it. Powerhouse Women is literally where women find their best friends, the business besties, the people that they're going to work with and collaborate with. And that has honestly been part of the secret sauce, but it's not something that's unique to us that someone else couldn't duplicate.
Oh, I love that so much. So, okay, community versus audience. So audience is how can they connect to you? Community is how can they connect together? What did you see like at some of the first events when they were connecting with each other? Because I think that is where, did you know right away where you're like, oh my God, this is it? And do you focus on that whenever you're building things? Like, tell me what you did moving forward after those moments.
Okay, if I can be really honest, I think part of it is, and you and I have talked a lot about this, I was still a little bit insecure in holding space and having all the attention focused on me. So I honestly think in the beginning, I wanted to get the attention off of me.
You're like,
you get it, right?
You talk amongst yourselves.
I was like, I don't want, and I also knew that I never wanted to set it up where people expected me to have all the answers. That just wasn't a realistic expectation. So from the start, and you actually do this a lot too, and I learned from you, I really pointed them to all of the answers, all of the wisdom that lies within the relationships they made with each other. So honestly, I think it was more of like an insecurity of mine, but then I saw how it gave them better results. It gave them more value that didn't have to come from me. Like any of you out there who are coaches, or a lot of your business is built around you showing up and being the dancing monkey. If you have a community that's also attached to your brand, then all of a sudden they're getting value that doesn't require you to show up more. You can charge more. You have more retention because now that all their best friends are in your programs and they don't want to leave. So I just naturally started to see these outcomes, but I still don't think until maybe 2-3 years after that, I didn't realize we were doing anything different. I just knew that we were doing what we could with the smaller audience that we had at the time.
Hey y'all, if you didn't know, Earn Your Happy is now a part of the Growth Day Podcast Network. This is so exciting to me because I have been looking for a really good home for the show for, I can't even tell you, years, literally. And now I've finally been able to come together and collaborate with other people who have incredible shows, and I want to share them with you. One of the shows is Motivation with Brendon Burchard. And you guys, if you don't know about the beginning of my career, I literally started with Brendon Burchard's work. It's how I launched one of my very first online courses and membership sites, was because he gives so much advice that you can integrate and implement immediately. And that's what you're going to get on the show. Not just motivation, but you're going to learn exactly how to get your stuff out in the world. And not just that, but Brendon runs in the most incredible group of humans who are really doing the thing out in the world that you want to be doing. So go check it out. Go subscribe to Motivation with Brendon Burchard. I promise you, this is going to be one of those shows that no matter when you tune in, you're going to get value. Like, it's not one of those that you're like, God, I listened for 30 minutes and I didn't get what I wanted. Like, from the beginning, you're going to get something that changes your life or changes your business. So go check it out. Motivation with Brendon Burchard. I know you're going to love it. I'm obsessed.
I mean, that is brilliant, because when you are the person who's putting on the events and putting on the programs, there's only so much of you to go around, and you're not always going to be there. Like, that's going to end, but these friendships continue. And that's been that has been the coolest part about building community for me, is going, oh my God, Lindsey did that thing however long ago. I did that thing however long ago. And this friend group is going strong, and they're like doing all of these incredible things, and you see them out in the world. And that would have never happened if that would have just been about you connecting with them. And that's really what it also just creates this, like, it's a diehard community. Like we still have people. So you guys, we're just going to back up a sec. Lindsey and I did an event in 2020, right before COVID, like January 2020.
Literally right before.
Like literally right before we got in there. Yeah, exactly. About teaching people how to host events. Interesting timing. But with that, we see all of these amazing women still who are in our communities, and they're thriving. Like hashtag thriving. Yeah. It's amazing. Okay.
Together. Doing things together.
Yes. Like these groups of friends that are true besties now. And that is because of the containers that you have created, that we have created within these communities. So Lindsey, you teach this so well. You teach this better than anyone else. My first question is, can anybody be successful with a small community, do you think?
100% hands down. And it actually, I think is easy to see how a business like Powerhouse Women, or even the businesses that you've built, thrive on community. But let's even just take someone. I've helped realtors put this into practice. I've helped product-based businesses put this into practice, because especially in 2023, I think that because business is changing so much, algorithms, ads are changing so much. If you don't have like that organic community as a foundation, I do think you're going to end up leaving money on the table, because no matter what it is that you're selling, when you have a community, you have kind of this built-in audience who wants to buy and wants to share it with their friends. So it becomes like that word of mouth marketing. But it's all about thinking, here's kind of like the question to start with. So if you are listening to this and are like, okay, lady who's dressed like Carmen Sandiego, all right, let's just take, I would listen to you. Let's take this at face value. And for any of you who are younger and don't know who Carmen Sandiego is, Google it. It'll change your mind. Yeah. But is to start with the question, what is it that I want to unify people around? When people think of my brand, so like for me, I would say when people think of Powerhouse Women, what do I want them to know about the people who are associated with my brand if they were to meet someone out on the street? And if you ask the people who you work with what it is that they associate with your brand and they don't have an answer for that, that just means there's so much possibility for you. You can start to unify people around things like maybe it's a problem you're solving. Maybe it could be something like a common value. But I actually think the most powerful thing that you can identify for your own business and brand that starts to unify people around it is, what's the aspirational identity? What is the identity that the person, your dream customer, wants to see themselves as? How do they want to experience themselves? And if you start to create the culture where they see that they can become that, by being associated with your brand, by buying your products, all of a sudden you have so much value. I mean, that is like deep, deep brand loyalty that goes so far beyond the size of your list, the, traditional conversion rates. It's just focusing on community as the forefront versus as an afterthought. And I think a lot of people just see it as, oh, it's just a Facebook group. I'll just throw this up. Community is the connection. It doesn't matter where the community lives. It matters, are those people genuinely connecting with you, with who they want to become, and with the other people who are on that same journey?
I love this. I mean, this is literally what I'm doing with this new company that I'm working in, because it doesn't matter if you have a digital product, if you have a physical product, like this, truly, everyone is saying it. This is the new way that you are going to be able to get your product out there.
Yeah.
And not just that, as if that's, not the only incentivization. It is life-changing as the person who is leading the community. I think in the past when we've done things where it's been more like, hey, look to me, I'm going to give you advice, like that sort of leadership. That's actually really lonely, and it will burn you out so fast. Yeah. Like I did it for a little while, and it's the fastest way to burn yourself out. When you feel like that community movement and connection, there is something so magical in it. It's like, oh my God, this is why I do this. So, okay, you're the queen of this. You have a program right now, which is so cool. It's essentially you're hosting your own community that's going to help people build community. But you guys, with the focus on how do you make sure that you're serving this community so well that you're also monetizing it in a way that fully supports you in such a massive way, like way bigger than you're probably thinking right now.
Yeah. And I think it all goes back to, I'm so eternally grateful to Chris, who was really the first person to say, like, hold on, Linz, you guys produce what results with how many, Instagram followers / email lists? I mean, to this day, we have almost $1 million year business with an email list of 5,000 people.
Yeah, that's insanity.
It's incredible, right? We put 500 women in an event. And it's because there's these things that we do differently that anyone can do. And so over the last year, I've really spent the time sitting down and breaking down a formula that anyone could implement, no matter what kind of business that they have, in how to take your current business, however you're connecting people, whether it's through your email list, through a podcast, through social media, live events, doesn't matter where. You can take this formula and implement it to start to see some of these results, right? Converting more sales, to create this steady influx of organic leads, to create this energy. I think that's really what it is. When people look at Powerhouse Women, they just want to know, how did you create this energy, this magnetism that just has people come and want to stay and be a part of this brand and want to buy whatever program you're offering next? And it's really focusing on these couple of fundamentals in this framework that we came up with, the profitable community framework. And we're teaching it for the first time. I've never taken a group of other community builders and really taken them by the hand and said, okay, here's exactly how we did it. Let's not only teach you the formula, but now let's teach you how to collaborate with each other, how to grow your communities with other people who are doing the same thing. Because you and I have seen it. It's when you collaborate with those like-minded people, when you really intentionally put yourself in rooms where you might have similar audiences, but there's so much you can offer to each other's audience. That's actually where it grows exponentially. It grows far beyond, I think, what any of the more, just like the more common marketing tactics really can achieve. And if you're doing all that stuff, great. If you're running ads, amazing. But if you don't have these frameworks in place, I do think you're missing a huge piece of the puzzle that is a lot more sustainable. It's like an insurance policy for your business, especially during times that are a little bit more challenging, where if people aren't bought in, they aren't likely to stay.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I love this. Okay. Well, where can they go? Because this is incredible. I've been to so many of your events. I've been part of your events. We've put events on together. They're my favorite. They're insane. You do find your besties there. They're so much fun. They're so real. I think women can show up and fully be themselves, and they're probably going to have a much better time than they can even possibly imagine right now. Like, you're the person who made me realize how much fun business could be, truly. Like, so fun. We were drinking champagne on stage at one point, which was pretty magical.
Pretty magical.
So, that was the moment for me. I was like, this shit should be fun. Like, you should have your girls, and this should be like in your zone of genius, connected to your divine purpose and God, all the things, you can have all of the things all in one. So where do we go?
So this is a 3-month program. I don't think I said that. It's really a 4-day, really immersive in-person experience. We're not just going to teach you community. You're going to see us and get to watch us do it, experience it, and learn it that way as well. So we're going to do a 4-day in-person event, which events are my favorite. And then it'll include a few months of support to really implement, take you by the hand, make sure that you're really grasping these concepts, and start the year strong, building your community and using that to scale your business this year. We just made it easy for your podcast listeners. We linked it to powerhouselori.com. It's just easier to spell and remember. So all of the details will be linked there. It'll take you right to the page where people can learn about it. And I'm just excited. I mean, this is going to be a pretty intimate group of people that I'm literally going to take you by the hand, work alongside you to start this year and grow your community from, whether that's from square one, or we have a lot of, multiple 6- and 7-figure business owners who just realized they skipped this step, that there's actually more that they could be doing, more impact they could be making by really getting the community piece solidified so it can really meet a business owner wherever they're at.
I love this. I always love talking to you. Okay, I'll see you next week.
Okay, see you next week.
Hopefully. I don't know. We'll see. All right. I love you. Thank you so much for coming on. You guys go to powerhouselori.com. Seriously, she's my favorite event host and my favorite, person. Don't tell my husband. Okay.
I won't.
Okay, love you.
You can't hear this.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Want to know a huge secret to my success? Okay, not only my success, but just about every single person that I have interviewed on this podcast who is successful has this in common. You guys, they love to journal. They capture their life lessons and what they're grateful for. But a lot of people don't keep this up consistently. And most people do know that the research shows that journaling deepens your gratitude and increases self-awareness. But did you also know that journaling decreases stress and helps you achieve your goals faster? In fact, journaling is a huge differentiator between average performers at work and high-performing people. It leads to longer-term clarity, confidence, and success. So why don't more people journal? Why didn't I journal consistently? Honestly, they don't like staring at a blank page. It's hard to carry a book around with you or a notepad, and they just don't even know what to write about, or they just forget. That's why I know that you're going to love Growth Day. It's the world's #1 system for self-improvement, and it's like all-in-one personal development in an app. And it has an awesome digital journal, and people love it. Growth Day's digital journal has hundreds of research-backed writing prompts for self-reflection, positive mindset, confidence building, and success. I use them all the time, and it makes me think in ways that I typically don't, and it makes me ask myself better questions, which we all know gets better results in our life. It even has prompts that help you develop a daily, weekly, or monthly habit of reflecting on your life and identifying areas to grow. So it's a perfect time of year to start journaling, you guys. When you sign up at Growth Day, you also get systems for habit tracking, goal setting, and scoring, and improving every area of your life. Best of all, I get to teach there too, you guys. I'm so excited. I hope that I get to see you. I teach live in Growth Day every single month with a new topic just for you. So join me there. Start your free trial at growthday.com/Lori. Hey, do you know what the big secret is this year? And it shouldn't be a secret because this should be your biggest focus. It is building your community. I am always working on building and nurturing my community, and everyone is talking about the power of community. Without an online community, you just cannot grow organically or create a real movement, which is what I know that we're all after. And you can build trust or monetize your audience. When you get community right, not only does your audience grow faster, but so do your sales. But where's everybody going to be managing their communities these days? And a lot of online entrepreneurs and thought leaders are turning to Circle.so. Circle is an all-in-one community platform. It lets you host content and create discussions, live streams, group chats, and memberships all under your own brand. And what's so cool about Circle.so is that you don't even need a website or Facebook group. Instead, Circle lets you build your own community site where you can host content and manage your members. You can even create locked and unlocked content spaces, groups, and classes. How freaking cool is that? You can put your content behind a paywall too, and you can charge different amounts of money for different spaces on your community site. Circle.so is famously easy to use, and it has a free 14-day trial for you, so you can go check it out, see if you like it, see if you love all the options. Just go to Circle.so. Go check it out right now, you guys. Imagine being able to manage your community, start group chats and live classes, and accept payments all in one place. Kind of mind-blowing since this is usually spread all over the place. You have to log into so many different things. If this is the year to capture, organize, and monetize your community, head over to Circle.so. You can get a free trial and start building your online community right now. Just go to Circle.so. You guys, you get the 14-day free trial. So just go and see if it's for you. It's going to streamline everything and make your life so much easier. It's so freaking cool.